I don't know.
You
No,
don't know? Okay.
I think I'm fine. I'm quite fine. I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay. Okay. So
And I'm not,
tell me your seeking story. I read a little bit, but tell me your seeking story and what got you here.
meeting is yes. Being recorded. Okay, just a moment. I have a speaker here, but I don't know. Should I?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I think my seeking started very early in my
Okay.
life.
Yeah.
I always had the feeling that I'm not like the others.
Yeah.
That for others, life is so normal, so natural, and for me, I was always like watching from outside
Yeah.
somehow. I could not really take part fully.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in school with the other with the other people. I was watching from outside somehow, and I was
Okay.
watching myself also.
Yeah.
And very early I started to read. I think it started with esoteric literature, esoteric
Mm-hmm.
books, and then Krishnamurti. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I visited different workshops for
Okay.
self to find myself or to heal myself,
Yeah.
and then later, I maybe 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I had my first spiritual teacher. It is a German. It was a German
Okay.
teacher, and then after this came Muji.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some years, yeah, I followed Muji, and I also was in a retreat
Okay.
once in a
Was it
silent,
in Portugal?
yes, in
Okay.
Portugal.
Yeah.
And once I met him in London for
Okay.
3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Muji, I met Nokunu. He's living in Denmark,
Mm-hmm.
and he I made a non-dual therapy training with him.
Okay. Okay.
So I went there for some times, some weekends, and but then I didn't finish this, and my seeking went on. I did not find also with Muji, I didn't find my true nature,
Mm-hmm.
and I was listening really to him for day and night,
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
day and
Me
night.
too. At one
But
point.
I heard your story, and yeah, and then seeking went on. Then was a Christian phase, because
Mhm.
here where I live, there are a lot of evangelical Christians.
Okay. Okay.
So so I tried this, and I gave my life to Jesus. But after not so long, I stayed there, and I went back to non-duality. Then I found Tony Parsons
Hmm.
and Newman and Kenneth Madden and all these non-duality teachers. And then this time it was the first time I saw you,
Hmm.
because you made interviews, and
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and then, but then this stopped also because I found it a little bit confusing, or I found some, for example, Jim Newman sometimes like a little bit arrogant or cold, and Tony Parsons sometimes also irritated me, his behavior, certain people.
Yeah.
So I stopped listening to them. And then again, I went to Christianity again.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
And that time I thought, so now really, now I really will read the Bible. Now I
Hmm.
want to know it. And I took it very serious, and I
Hmm.
even entered the evangelical church, a small church, but they were very fundamentalist,
Yeah.
and I got very serious also, and also
Hmm.
I had fear, I had sorrow, a lot of
Hmm.
sorrow about my guilt, my mistakes, and yeah, my sinful nature.
Yeah.
It was not good, and
Yeah.
yeah, I felt
Oh,
not a good place. I have to leave this again. Then I had nothing for some time, but no, I was reading I was reading a lot also about the mystics, Christian mystics, and I
yeah.
thought I have to maybe there's the way, that's the way.
Yeah.
But then almost I got Orthodox, no
Oh,
Orthodox,
wow.
almost.
Almost. Okay.
But then I somehow did not have a good feeling. So my search continued, and after another Christian phase in another church, finally it dropped away from itself
Hmm.
because it got so clear. Maybe also because I was reading and listening a lot to critical biblical scholars, yeah, Bible critic
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
videos,
yeah.
and I
Because you're
felt
doubting it, basically, right? There's a lot of doubt.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
And finally, I was, yeah, I knew it's not the truth. I just knew it's not the truth, and I
yeah,
can really let it go. And I knew now I think it's finally I let it go and I don't have to go back. But then again was the question, and now what? And then
yeah.
now I found you,
Hmm.
yeah, again, and listening to you, and then it I felt very much attracted because I
Yeah.
saw maybe 30 videos from you,
Oh, wow.
all the one-to-ones,
Yeah.
very interesting, very touching. I liked very much the way the way you are, so natural, and how you
Oh,
talk to
thank you.
people, and so nice people also. Yeah, I would like to have such friends.
Yeah.
I would like to have a friend like you, you know?
Oh,
I feel, yeah, it's really, I'm also a little bit sad because, because I live very isolated
okay.
the last 15 years, maybe, since I live here in this small village.
Whereabouts are you?
Uh, huh?
Whereabouts are you living right now?
In Switzerland.
In Switzerland. Oh,
Yeah.
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 I hear a lot of people that has that isolation in Switzerland, right? So it's far apart the houses, right? So
Yeah, that's not the reason, but I don't live isolated. I live in the middle of the small city.
oh, you
So
do. Oh, okay, okay.
I don't
Okay.
find, I don't find people who I resonate really.
Yeah.
And there are really a lot of Christians, and somehow now yeah, it's not the right people for me right now to talk
Yeah.
to. So I'm mostly alone. But this was a long time ago already. I spent, sometimes I think I spent almost all my life alone, most of
Yeah.
the time
Yeah,
alone,
yeah.
and searching and reading, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And seeking is very isolating too, you know.
yes,
Yeah. It's almost like, and that's why a lot of people go to retreats and stuff like that, right? Because they want to meet new people and people that are like-minded, that kind of thing. Did you
yeah.
not have any friends from those communities or?
No, no, I did not go to retreats for this reason, but really I wanted to awaken. I really wanted to awaken.
Okay. Yeah.
I was not so interested in other people,
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
really, no.
It's the
Um,
same as me when I was going to the retreats. I was not really interested in building friendships or anything. I was there to awaken to. So I
yes,
was very, very focused, on that. But it
yes,
was always with disappointment that I would leave because I
yeah,
would feel great with the retreat, and I would notice that in that retreat, no matter how many numbers of people, no one awakens from the retreats. I
yeah.
started noticing it, and I would ask people. I said,
Mhm.
"How?" And I'm like, "Is this your first time?" And people will be like, "Oh, this is. I've been coming here for 10 years," and I'm like, "And you're still coming after 10 years?"
Yeah, but for me it was a little bit different, like, because there were really people who I think awakened, or I don't
Oh,
know, really, not I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. With Muji, there were some people who really were such in bliss,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and I was talking to Muji also in front of the whole with the microphone, and I
That's
said,
right.
oh, I think I don't get it.
Yeah.
I am aware. I told him I am aware of myself. I am aware of me now
Hmm.
standing here and talking
Yeah.
to you, but somehow it, I don't know is if this is it. And then he said, yeah, you are already, but you have a wrong expectation somehow, like something
Hmm.
like this. He said, I imagine something different,
Yeah.
but it's already here. So,
Yeah.
but it didn't help me.
It didn't help you. Yeah. I think I asked similar questions too. And I was wondering, I'm like, I actually asked if these people that are in bliss, are they awake or are they just, and then what I saw is just like somebody that goes to a rock concert when they see Michael Jackson or they see a big star, you know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
just in a state of fanaticism. Um,
Yes.
yeah, because I've
Yeah.
also, when I was a spiritual teacher, I noticed that there were some people that were just fanatics. And then every time that they would see me, they would cry and they're in bliss and they're happy. And at that time that they were crying and they were fanatic, I thought I lost it. So I was wondering what's happening. I'm like, oh, they just believe that there's something special here, that I have something that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say this, I've actually the most energetic power that I've ever seen, not in a Muji retreat, but in Michael Jackson concert.
Yeah.
People are fainting all over. I was even about to faint, right? I was screaming at the top of my lungs. So it's not about the person, it's about what you believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, I
almost
like
like
in charismatic, Christian charismatic circles.
it's the same thing, right?
It's the
It's the
same.
same thing. There's
Yeah.
people that are very charismatic. They say the right words, and
Mm-hmm.
then they have this very convincing narrative. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they have this story. Somebody says that God talks to me at my left ear every night at 12:15 p.m. and whispers to me the state of the world. So I'm his messenger. Of course, you want to believe that so bad because you don't want to doubt that because it looks like you're doubting God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So it all boils down to belief, right? So this is almost this what I communicate or what I'm trying to express is it's almost like not in that belief. So to go directly to that, what do you believe at this very second? This second, if you cannot go to the past or the future, you've heard this question, but go
Yes.
directly at it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this very second, there's no belief. There's just
But who
what I.
believes that there's no belief?
Hmm?
Let's go further. But who believes that there's no belief? What's behind that?
Um, I, I mean, in this very second, I cannot have not even a thought
There you
that
go.
it's so
Okay.
obvious that there is no belief because it's
Yeah.
so just now there
Okay.
is no
So
belief.
so if the past is just a belief and the future is just a belief, then at this moment there's just we can't even say it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's just this almost like a blankness to it. So if you take away the past, so if the future or the past is just a belief, then this must be the moment. There's just only this moment. There's only this second, this instant, the moment without a second. And if you hear non-duality, it's unthinkable, it's unknowable. So at this moment, isn't it unthinkable? Is it an unspeakable? That's how direct it is. And it's often overlooked because the mind wants to go to the past or the future. But if you take away the past and the future, there's a silence here.
I tried several times. I tried to
Don't go to the past.
listen.
That's
Yeah, okay.
irrelevant. You're here now, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
irrelevant. It's not
Okay.
about you. It's not about you trying, right?
Yeah.
So what's between doing and not doing?
Yeah. There's nothing between
Yeah,
doing or not doing.
exactly. So if there's nothing between doing and not doing, what's behind nothing? Go further.
But somehow it's so irritating. I'm like, I cannot go there. I cannot.
That's okay because it's nothing to do with you. It's supposed to be that way. What's between you and not you? Because you're getting in the way, basically, right?
Between me and
And
not
not
me.
me, yeah. If your mind blanks out, that's okay. You don't have to go any further. It's okay. That's it.
But somehow I feel like blocked. Like
Yeah. So what are you without that belief that you're blocked? Because that's just a belief.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was already afraid that I will be blocked and I will not find it to
No,
today.
no. That's just a belief, right? You're going to the past, right? It's just a belief. It's just a belief, right? What are you without any beliefs at this moment? What are you without the past at this moment? What are you without the future at this moment? It's so simple, right?
My feelings, my sensations.
Yeah. What are you without that even? What if you unlabel feelings and sensations? What's left?
It's hard to imagine to not have any sensations.
Yeah. But when you go to sleep, is there any sensations?
No,
No. There you go. When you're busy doing something, is there any sensations?
no.
There you go. Okay. It's just a thought again. So there's something that's an aliveness that you call sensations. But if you unlabel sensations, what's left?
Nothing.
Yeah. What's wrong with nothing?
Um, Nothing.
There you go. Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
the
The mind will try to go to the past or the future. What if you can't go to the past or the future? Then what's left?
is it
So
like
the
an
so
empty
the mind is
space?
that it's like an empty space.
Is
Yeah.
it like the space I can see also with my eyes? I mean, I cannot see, but everything between the objects is space. Is it like space?
Yeah, it's just space, but even take away the word space, what's left? And if you can go to the past or the future,
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
something here that's inexplicable, right? You can't really say what it is.
it's still stillness.
Yeah,
But
still.
no, I don't know if it's a stillness outside. I mean, sometimes it's loud, I hear noises, but
Yeah,
now it's evening. In the evening, it is still, there is a stillness.
yeah.
But this is not the stillness you mean, no?
It's not what anyone means, right? It's just a word, right? What if you take away the word? Because we get caught up in the words because words have meanings, but all of those meanings are fabrications, right? So there's something here that you can't put a meaning to, you can't define. So we call it stillness. And then the mind tries to say, well, it's not still. No. The mind is trying to take over of something that cannot be thought of. Right? So what's between
Yeah.
mind and no mind?
there is nothing.
Yeah. So it's often overlooked because it's so simple and it's so direct, right? So awakening is at this moment, not in the next. So there's something that's awake here, but the mind keeps on trying to blindfold you so that you think that this is not it.
Yes, he
Yeah.
says it. I mean, this is very um, yeah, there is a quiet
Yeah.
inside, but that's very, very normal. But
It
often
is. It's very normal. Yeah.
it's overloaded with thinking and
Don't go to
or
the past or the future. See, don't go to the past or the future. Try to, you know what I'm saying? Just remain in this moment.
yeah.
The thoughts will come about the past or the future. We'll try to compare about the past but it's not here. The future is not here. The past is not here. What's here is this quietness, right? Without the next, without a future, without a past, without a history. The
And there,
mind will
yeah.
the mind will try to come up with things, right? But it's irrelevant. The mind doesn't want you to go here in this directness because it becomes impotent. It becomes powerless. So we'll try to come up with some narratives that this is it, or what do I do, or all that kind of stuff. But it's always leading to the past or the future. The moment you get caught up in the past or the future again, then you're not seeing the directness of what's happening at this moment, which is an undoing, basically. The
So
thinking, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but so I have to
That's the future if you have
be
to.
very attentive or very aware not to follow my thoughts. And I think that's very uh, that's not relaxing.
That's
That's
just a
work.
thought. You're
That's
trying to
work.
go, see, you're trying to go to the next again.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about following your thoughts or whatever. You're making an assumption. The mind is trying to create a future again. It's irrelevant.
Not following the thoughts is also a task. I mean, this is also
Well, what's between following and not following? So you're trying to say that I'm doing something, but I'm not, right? I'm just trying to clear up any of the confusion of doing or not doing. The mind can only work in opposite. So it's saying, oh, well, it's following or not following. See? You know what I'm saying? So it's trying to trick you again. So what's between following and not following? Just go
Mhm.
directly. What's between doing and not doing? And just
Mm.
relax into this moment, right? Yeah, it's beautiful. Not getting caught up in thoughts, right? So the mind will always say but and. But what if
Yeah,
there's no but and end? It's irrelevant. Just settle into this directness. It's okay.
yeah. My mind says yes, but you know this. I have. I mean, this state I know, but
That's the
I
past
know
again, right?
also how it goes away, and
No,
I'm
no, no. That's the past. That's the past, right? So
yeah.
don't buy into the past or the future. It's not here. You will try, you know what I'm saying? Because, right? It will try to diminish this or try to avoid this because in this directness, it doesn't matter what the mind says. I've been in this directness for the past 8 years and it's just beautiful clarity, right? There's nothing to seek. There's contentment. There's peace.
But it stays.
It's
Uh,
been 8 years.
it stays without you. Do I?
There's no me to do or not do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw myself as a thought. You know, the Emerson, everything that Emerson says is just a thought and a belief. So when you see that it's all fabricated, then you stop believing it.
I'm still. I guess I'm still identified with my thoughts and my body and
Without the
this.
past, where's the you that's identified with the thought?
Without the past.
Yeah. Where's the I without the past?
There is still the body.
Well, that's just another word.
I can
Right?
see it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But if without the past, what's even words? We just learned words like body and see it and everything, right? That's the past that we something that we learned in the past. Does the baby know that it's a body and hands and everything? Does the person with dementia know that it is a body? When you're deep of sleep, do you know that your body? No, that's just something that you believe,
But I
something
can,
you learn.
I feel my body.
Yeah. So at this moment, if you unlabel feeling, what's left? This is just a belief at this very moment.
I cannot see that it is a belief because I
What do
feel.
you what do you without language? It's just language that you believe. Language is fabrication, right? So you believe the language. So what are you without language at this moment?
But I believe my feelings, my
Yeah,
experience.
but feelings is hijacked by a thought, by my experience, my feeling. My is a belief. I is a belief. So what are you without the belief of the I? Where's the I right now? Yeah,
I still feel my I. I
yeah,
still.
yeah.
Uh,
If you cannot go to the past or the future, where's the I? Do you feel the I when you're sleeping? No. Do you
no,
feel the I when
I'm
you're
not
busy?
aware.
What's
I'm not
that?
aware in sleep.
But who's aware? Aware is just another fabrication.
Is awareness not an
It's
experience?
just a word. It's made up. If you go to a tribe, you know what I'm saying? If you go to someone that does not know what the awareness, they would not have any idea what you're talking about. It's just something that you learn from teachers. It's just a word. Yeah. The whole construct is just a thought. What if you've been staring at God this whole time and you keep on calling it words like awareness and consciousness? And you know what I'm saying? It's here. But it can't be named, it can't be known because the mind, the ego, is the fabrication. And the ego will fight it. It will say that, well, I am. Where's the I am? I feel it. It's just sensations hijacked by a word called feeling. And even sensation is just it's just aliveness or God or something hijacked by a feeling called sensations. It's just a word. Your structure of your belief system is very flimsy because it's all made up. Every single word is made up.
I can say I. Maybe Sailor Bob Adamson says, "Do you ask? Do you exist? Do you know that you exist?" And
But I love Sailor Bob, but all thoughts will just lead to more thoughts. I'm
yeah,
trying to
really.
take away all of the veils right now, and you keep on closing it back, right? I'm trying to rip it apart, right? Let it rip apart. Don't get caught up in words and ideas and concepts. I love Sailor Bob, but did you wake up from that? No.
No,
There you go, right? I'm trying to say wake up from the words right now. It's all made up. But you
but I
keep on
cannot.
keep on taking the blanket and say, well, I am here. I'm like, no, that's a dream as well that I am here.
But I cannot see it that
It's
it's
nothing
all
to
made
do
up.
with you because the you is the dream. The you is the made up. You're made up. You don't exist. It's an idea that you keep on holding on to, right? Get out of the way.
Who is holding on to?
The idea is holding on to the idea.
But when the idea is not existing, it's
So
not real.
what's between idea or no idea? You can't say it. The words that we have is a trap because it will just keep on going to dualism, right? So I'm
Mhm.
trying to rip apart the words, right? So what's between idea and no idea?
Yeah, nothing.
There you go. Okay. I'm going to borrow Sailor Bob Sword, what's wrong with nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The mind, the ego doesn't want nothing because it wants stories. It wants to be here. It wants to be the I am. It wants to be awareness, consciousness. It wants to be God, right? But if you rip apart that word, I am, God, awareness, then it's just all God here. But you keep on getting caught up in the words. The you is a thought that's maintaining a thought that becomes a belief. The belief, a series of belief, becomes a sense of identity called I am here. But if you unlabel that, it's just a belief. If you go further beyond the belief, it's just a thought. If you take away the thoughts, then what's left? Then there's no more veil.
I mean, I heard this already because I listened to all these your sessions, but
Yeah.
something is listening to you, and
That's
you
a
are
belief.
thinking
That's a belief.
something.
That's a belief. What do you have that belief when you go to sleep?
No, but now I'm listening.
Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
What is hearing you?
Because again, you're conceptualizing it again. It's just a belief, believing a belief.
But I hear we are talking. I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Who's
You're
the I
talking.
that hears you right now? Where's the I? Look for it.
Yeah, I don't know what is hearing, but something is hearing, no?
Yeah, but you can't call it an I. You can't call it it's me. You're localizing that thing that is whole. You know what I'm saying?
I can also say there is hearing.
There's nothing that you can say that makes sense because it's all made up. You're using words that are all made up. You're
No, but
coming
I
into a
hear
structure of a belief that every single word is show me a word that's true. Show me the I that you're trying to say that's here.
Yeah, I can't. I cannot.
There you go. Yeah. So why fight what is obvious?
But there is life. There is
That's
something
another
living.
word. Yeah, you're trying to come up with word, but all that your tools that you have are made up. It's kind of like you waking up and saying, but there's life. I'm like, you were dreaming. Well, you know, say everything that you're saying is a dream. It's all made up. But there's something here that cannot be made up and you cannot think of it. And the ego wants to know it, right? Because without the thinking, it doesn't exist. So we'll keep on fighting with these beliefs, you know what I'm saying, and ideas of what it is.
Is it the stillness that I can hear a very fine
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's almost
noise?
like a sound, like a ringing of the ear, like a white
Very,
noise,
very fine. Very,
like a mixture of noise and quietness, like a
yeah, yeah,
buzz.
yeah.
Yeah. And there's really nothing to say, right? I can't even say it. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm trying to wake you up from words, right? There's just this
But what is recognizing this?
forget about what is recognizing because that's just another thought. There's what's working because that's the ego trying to be insert itself into it, right? There's no
Yeah,
witness.
that's a problem with Ramana Maharshi. Oh, who are you? Who am I? Who am I?
But how
So
many people really woke up from Ramana?
I
You know
don't
what I'm
know.
saying? No, not
I don't
much.
know.
Otherwise, there'll be so many Ramana people right now in the West. No one, right? I love what he says. I love, Ramana says silence is the best teacher. Great, right? Now people are looking for the silence in the next. It's just more words. All words are made up. In the
But
past 2 years that I've been doing this, about 20 people doing what I'm doing now, right?
yeah.
And it's working there's videos all over now, not just me, right? And I got out of the way. I'm not a guru, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a sage. I'm just this ordinariness expressing this ordinariness.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I have about 200 videos and thousands probably that I have not posted, right? The proof is in the pudding, you know what I'm saying? In the word and the mind, the ego, the character doesn't want to see this, right? Because this is the end of seeking. What's there to seek when you see that words are made up? What's there to seek when you see that the I that you're holding into is just a thought?
But I cannot really, I cannot see it really. So
it has nothing to do with you seeing it. Who's going to see it?
I don't get it the way
It's not about you getting it, because I don't even get it. That's what I'm trying to point out here. You are not going to get any words or any ideas. It's about the simplicity that when you're a baby, it's already clear. We keep on going back into that blankness, but the mind wants to fight it. You see it, right? It doesn't want to settle in that emptiness or stillness, in that, because there'll be nothing to talk about. It wants to fight, right? But what's there to fight? Words are all a moot point because it's just all made up. Let me just get some water. Just a second, okay?
Yes.
Okay, just a second.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem.
The person before you was an evangelical pastor.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. It's his second session, but the first one he fought it big time too, right? So now he's calm. He's at peace, right? So it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Because all that you really are fighting for is a belief. The belief in the I is strong.
yeah.
I had it for quite a while, right? So I went to suffering, you know what I'm saying? Because of that big belief of the I. It's almost like subconsciously. Like, but I'm here, I feel and everything. But if you take away the I, what's left? It's just feelings, it's just happenings, it's just, sensations.
Yes.
The I, when you attach the I to it, then you're convinced that you're the one. But the you that believe it is just a fabrication. It's just a strong belief, you know what I'm saying? Because that belief goes away.
Yeah.
It's not there permanently.
But somehow I have to come to see this.
Who's the I that has to come to see
I cannot
this?
believe you.
It's not about believing me. I'm not asking you to believe me. So what do you, so what's between a belief and non-belief? And I noticed that a lot of people that usually go to like Muji and it has a strong belief system, or evangelical, right? And that's what it is. It's just a belief. You don't have to believe me. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm actually asking you to read between the lines, because nothing that I will say, you know what I'm saying, is real. It's all made up. I'm admitting that to you. And see also that nothing that you're saying is just a belief. So for you to believe me, who wants to believe me? Just another belief. So believing a belief becomes a sense of identity. So you want to maintain that identity by seeing it or by believing me. Don't believe me.
Yeah.
I don't have followers. I don't like followers, right? I want people out of this so that you can see what is happening here without you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I know, but who wants? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's that belief in that ego, in that I, in that character, that is kind of like, you know what? Kind of like when I was talking to that former evangelical priest or something. he was going all out, right? You know what? He booked the first day that we did, he booked a session, and then an hour later booked another one because he wanted to be at it with me. And he goes, I'm going to post this. And then you know what? It doesn't have, because what I'm trying to point out here has nothing to do with you. You have to get out of the way. It's
Yeah.
just you know what I'm saying? That you believe you is just a thought. That is a belief, a series of beliefs, you know what I'm saying? That becomes this sense of identity.
Yes.
That sense of identity, if you really look at it, is just a bunch of beliefs.
Yes.
And if you look at the belief, it's just a bunch of thoughts. If you look at a thought, it's really empty.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just this quietness.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's nothing missing there. So why do you want to see it? Because the mind, the ego keeps on coming and trying to go to the future, trying to go to the next. What if there's no next? Then there's nothing missing here. There's nothing to see in the next.
That's just the thought that because I saw so many people
I've
getting it,
I've
and how,
also seen
yeah,
Michael
how
Jackson.
they,
It's all going to be different for everybody. Listen,
yeah,
you've
I know what
been,
you say always,
yeah,
yeah.
it's all different for every character, right? It's about sobriety of your belief. It's a sobriety from you. The addiction is you have to get it, right? That there's a belief that you will, you know, and that's ego, basically, if you look at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's
I,
between?
you
Don't
know,
worry.
I,
I would, you know what? I have, you know what? I was also a very, very kind of like, you know, doubtful thing, right? It has nothing to do with doubt or belief. So what's between belief and non-belief?
there's again nothing.
Yeah. So what's between nothing and not nothing?
I can't go there. I
Yeah.
somehow
It's
cannot.
okay. So what's between I and not I? What's between going there and not going there? It doesn't matter because the words will just give you an opposite, right? And the
Yeah.
opposite is just going to create this loop of suffering. Oh, it's not it. Next, you know what? And you go to another teacher and everything. And then they'll tell you that, oh, you know what? You just have to tap into your consciousness and awareness, but it includes a you again. Here I am trying to take all of that, you know what I'm saying? And just show you that it's so ordinary that the mind, the ego does not want this
Yeah, I think
because
it's
it makes them
not
completely,
enough. It's not,
it's not a,
not
well,
special.
well,
It's,
the default setting of the mind is this is not enough. There's something missing here. So it continues in the next. So the mind continues the authority. You know what I'm saying? So what do you without that belief that it's not enough? What's between enough and not enough? So you're cornering the mind basically and showing the tricks that it's doing, that it just creates an opposite. So when, for example, when it goes blank, it goes, well, I'm not seeing it. So it continues in the next again, right? So you continue seeking. What if there's nothing to see? Then the seeking is over.
I compare with others, and that's a problem.
Comparison is the thief of joy. It's stealing from this moment of joy, right? Of quietness, right? What are you without that comparison? It's just ego maintenance if you want to compare, to be honest, right?
To compare, yeah, I know.
It's just
I did
ego maintenance. Yeah,
it
yeah.
all my life since
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a
Well,
child.
the past is not here, so that's not even true.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just here, just here. You know what I'm saying? Stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's unspeakable, it's unthinkable, it's unseeable, it's
And how
unknowable.
how can the habits fall away? Because these habits,
You're trying to go to the next again. See?
yeah,
Don't go to the next, right? Because the moment that you answer that, then the narrative continues again.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You just have a super seeker syndrome, kind of like what I did, right?
mm-hmm.
Strong seekers are like this, right? It's okay. It's all right. You know, say it's okay.
And yeah, really, the doubt is
What are
here.
you without the next? Where's the doubt without the next?
I don't really get it.
Well,
Again,
it's nothing to do with you, Astina.
uh,
It has nothing to do with you. The you keeps on coming into to kind of like, like sabotage what is always here. Because you know what? The ego wants to witness its own demise, but it's just ego maintenance. It's
yes,
just reinforcing the ego, right?
yes,
I'm
yes.
pointing it out here so clearly
Yeah.
that in between you and not you, between ego and not ego, there's this exit to clarity, to contentment, to peace, right? The ego, the you is always making up stuff, right? So why do you believe the liar? When there's a truth here that cannot be said in this moment, that does not have any opposite. It's here. It's contentment. It's peace without understanding.
Yeah, I mean, everything I want to say now is always thought, so I cannot talk
Yeah,
any.
it's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If you want to see what Raman is saying, that silence is the best teacher, so why keep on addressing your thoughts?
And the questions.
And the questions doesn't matter because there's no answer to your questions. You'll just be in a loop of questions and answers forever. Do you want that?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
I did
Yeah.
that already, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like, you know what? There's exercise and you keep on shutting the door and saying, but how do I get out? I'm like, it's an exit. You're already out. It's like, you know what? There's like a veil and you keep on shutting the veil again, right? I keep on ripping it and you keep on shutting it, right? Because guess who I'm ripping? The veil itself. The one that I keep on calling out is you. It has nothing to do with you. So I'm pointing out that the you is a fabrication. Anything that you think, believe, or know is a fabrication.
Mhm.
I'm ripping it apart. And the you will keep on saying, well, how do I do that? No, you are a fabrication. I don't see it. The I is a fabrication, right? It's an appearance.
And we can live without the I, working and all. Yeah.
Am I in a cave right now, not doing anything? I don't have an I. And somehow to manage,
And when people are addressing my I mean, they are addressing me as a person. So doesn't
who
this,
cares about others? It's
yeah,
just a thought again, right? So the thought is trying to keep, it's now focusing on others.
yeah, now, no, what happens then with me when they addressing my
There's no
person?
you to address to. It's your fabrication. So it's just going to appear. You're not going to say, because the moment that you say that there's no me, that's still a me saying that there's a no me. The moment you say that there's no I, there's still an I. So what's between I and no I?
There is no,
Yeah. It's just ordinariness, whatever, right? So if somebody calls me, hey, Emerson, I'm like, oh, hey, how are you doing? I'm not thinking that, you know what? Oh, he thinks that I'm Emerson. No, it's just automatic.
but then we play like actors. We play that we are persons.
Yeah, but there's no we. It's just a play.
It's just happening.
It's just a play. Yeah, it's just a play. Yeah.
So we have no free will. We cannot.
What's between free will and no free will? Because again, that's the me trying to figure out things again, right?
because sometimes, yeah, because I wrote this down, because you say sometimes you say to people, so live your best life, or so you.
I never
I
say that.
no, I wrote something. you wait, something. Where did I wrote a lot of things, but
That's okay. That's okay.
I don't even find it. But live the best life. I mean, you talk to people sometimes. Yeah, why not? I mean, we can live. We can.
What I'm saying is in the directness, in if you don't have a past or future, right? There's this directness. So there's an authenticity that happens. There is a directness. There's intimacy. You're not thinking that you're you or not you. It's just authentic, right? I don't think that there's an I here or no I. There's just authenticity that happens.
And where do decisions come from?
In the moment.
Where from?
In this moment. I have no idea. It's just happening right now.
There is
right?
no intelligence.
Well,
Living.
there's seemingly like an intelligence, you know what I'm saying, that's happening, but there's no source to that intelligence. It's just the mind is just trying to find out again. It's trying to confuse you again to see if there's a source. It's trying to land into a position, right? Because if there's a position, then the I is alive again.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a flow in that stillness, right? There's a beautiful flow where everything is just, you know what, it's just flowing. Everything is automatic. The mind, the ego, the I confuses you to try to distract you from that flow, because in that flow, there's just the infinite, there's just the stillness. And the mind becomes impotent. It doesn't have any, it becomes powerless because everything's already happening naturally, ordinarily. Kind of like in a dream, you know what I'm saying? Everything is just, there's no choice or no choice. Anything that the mind concocts is just a fabrication, it's an appearance, it's an idea. So, in the absence of all of that, when there's just this flow, then life becomes more peaceful, content, directness in the moment, not in the next, not as a thought, not as an idea, not as a concept, not as freedom from all ideas of freedom, basically, right? So, there's just this flow. And in that flow, right, you and I dissolve. It doesn't matter what other people, what I think, because it's just all a mirage, right? It's all an appearance. It's like being here and not here simultaneously. It's like, yeah, and there's just an awakeness to everything. Even if, for example, I'm talking about, like, I talk to my mom, I talk to my sister are talking about everything, right? There's just an ease to it. I'm not saying that, oh, you're not really here, I'm not here. No, right? So it's just a play, but there's no more character behind that play.
But thoughts are still here and come.
Well, what's
Thinking or
between thoughts and no thoughts?
happens.
What's between thoughts and no thoughts?
Yeah, no thoughts. There is nothing.
It doesn't really matter if the thoughts are here or not here, because there's no real thoughts, really, right? It's kind of like with
I have to write down something, for example, for
in the directness, there's a writing. Yeah.
I need.
Yeah. You know what? Again, the ego, the mind is trying to make a negotiating that I have to be here.
Yeah.
It's not here.
Sometimes the mind is useful, no?
Where's the mind? Show it to me.
I mean, we call it the mind, but
yeah,
thinking is sometimes useful to make a plan or
in the direct moment. Yeah. You know what? Thinking happens,
That's
right?
what I mean. Okay.
So is it really even thinking if it's just there's no I behind it?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just.
So what's between thinking and not thinking? So again, it's trying to land into position to make a case that it's real, right? So if you say that thinking is real, then I am real then. So how do I not get to I am not here, right? It's still an it's reinforcing it. It's trying to reinforce it itself over and over again. It's trying to preserve it by coming up with these thoughts, but all thoughts about this is irrelevant.
No, I thought maybe thoughts can come without an I. They just come.
Oh yeah. It comes with an I. Yeah. It comes. If
Without,
you don't believe the thoughts, then it's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's the thoughts. Thoughts maintaining a thought becomes a belief, right? So if you hold on to a thought, if you make a position of a thought, and then that becomes a belief. A series of beliefs becomes a sense of identity again, right?
yeah, no, no, I think sometimes there come ideas. For example,
Okay.
an idea, I could do this or that, maybe, or I have to go to a doctor, or maybe it was.
It happens in the present. It happens in the present.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. There's
idea,
nothing, again, to make me say that there's something wrong is another position, right? There's nothing wrong or right about anything.
there are ideas
Yeah.
which are worthy to follow, worth following.
Yeah. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it, right? You know what? You keep on trying to go to the future because you're sabotaging this moment.
I keep differentiating that thoughts that we don't have to believe in, or we can just
You're just making
or
thoughts real
ideas
again,
are
right? So
relevant,
you're
maybe.
just trying to make thoughts real again. You're still negotiating. When I'm
Yeah.
trying to show you that in between thoughts and no thoughts, it doesn't matter because there's just quietness here. You're trying to keep on going to the past or future, right? You're still engaging in it. When it's
Yeah.
all fabrication, yeah.
Somehow it's not satisfying.
Well, it's trying to go to the next again, right? Again, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to go to the future again. So you
Satisfying.
just engaged in that again. It's again, it has nothing to do with you being satisfied or not. It's an ego thing, basically, right? I'm not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how can you be at peace when you keep on looking for the next?
The
When
mind
you
is.
keep on buying, yeah, the next, right? When you keep on identifying with the ego that it's not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
It will come up with another next or past thing. Just watch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there are
if it, but
so
if
many
it's,
cases, so many questions, but
it
what?
doesn't matter what the questions are because there's no answer for it. Guess who wants to be satisfied? The ego wants to remain, right? Because it wants its questions answered. By answering the question, then it maintains the ego as the authority, as your source of reality.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So the more that you engage in that, you'll just be in a loop, right? You'll probably be back in evangelical Christianity again.
Oh no. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
danger.
I'm just pointing it out, right? So because the ego will never be satisfied because that's its illusion, basically, right? I'm not satisfied. Then you go to the next, then you're enabling it, basically. It's like an addiction that you keep on enabling. Sober up at this moment, at this very moment, right? It's just an intoxication. The mind, the eye is just an intoxication.
So when thoughts come, just ignoring. It's that
What's between ignoring and not ignoring?
again, nothing.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Not reacting, not reacting, not
No,
doing.
no, the thought's still coming up with the belief system again. It doesn't matter, right? You keep on going to the next when I keep on saying that there's no next. You're still engaging in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's humbling just to see this as is, right? It's humbling, right? Just to see this clearly without the past and the future.
And this stillness is there also when there is a
It's
lot of.
always here. It's always here. It never disappears, right? But guess what comes and goes? The made up stuff, like the I or the ego or the mind, right? It's all made up. That's why it just comes and goes. It's not really here permanently. Would you rather believe in what's coming and going, or the permanence? The stillness, right? When I was in that ego, I was suffering so much. The past 8 years, not even a minute of suffering, because there's just clarity. And I witness everyday people that end their suffering, right? And I don't need like a community center, you know what I'm saying, or tons of followings to do that, right?
Mhm.
So although people are resonating with this now, so they don't, I'm not even selling a teaching or anything. I'm just really going directly, just calling it out.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust. No, not
You don't
yet.
have to trust me. You don't have to trust me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't trust my or the stillness. It will.
It's kind of like you'd rather believe in the ego than God, basically. Because God is always here. You don't have to call it God, you know what I'm saying? But that's what you're looking for. It's here.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you're caught up with the ego, you know what I'm saying? And the ego will say, I don't trust this, because it will show that it doesn't exist, right? So what are you without the trust or not trust? It's not about, it's just trying to go to the next. No trust. No trust to trust. So what's between trust and not trust?
Nothing.
Yeah, there you go. But since you've been mind identified for quite a while, they will try to keep on coming back, right? It's like catching a liar that's been lying to you all this time, right? Eventually, you just don't you know what? You just don't pay attention to it anymore. You don't believe it anymore, right? Because where has the mind, the ego has taken you?
Mm-hmm. Well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this stillness here that's obvious, because you don't even have to think about it. You don't even have to believe it or not believe it. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yet you trust your thinking. That's just a thought. You trust your thoughts. That's the ego just trusting itself, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't trust the stillness, then you must trust the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to beat the ego in its own game, what's between trust and no trust? Because it's just trying to take you to the next, trying to take you away from this stillness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So exhausting.
I know. And it doesn't have to be that way, right?
Mm.
Would you rather be at peace or not at peace? Basically, is the only choice. So if you want to be at peace, then why do you keep on, you know, identifying with the thoughts? That's just chaos. There's just confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's just peace in this moment, in every moment, right? Peace that passes all understanding. So the ego doesn't understand it. The mind will never get it, right? Because it's always here.
Mm-hmm.
The eye will never see it because there's no eye to see it.
But when I say there is a stillness, I
Mhm.
mean something is aware of the stillness.
That's just another thought. See, it's trying to come back again. I practice awareness for 10 years. No.
Yeah, but I think I'm aware of this. I mean,
No. See, the I'm aware of it is just another thing, right? Yeah. So it's trying
yeah,
to make a case again. See, it's trying to make a comeback again, right? It's irrelevant, right? Any words, anything that you say is made up
there is
because
no awareness.
what's between awareness and no awareness?
Again, no.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So there's just a quietness to this. Like I can sit under a tree for hours. I can just sit here for hours, right? There's peace. Yet, you know what I'm saying? I go for runs. I have a full life. My life is I enjoy my company, right? But there's no more psychological suffering because there's no more engagement in the past and the future. Without the past and the future, the ego does not exist. Without the past or the future, there's no mind, really, if you look at it. Without the past or the future, there's no I. You can just say there's just beingness, right? It's just aliveness. And there's sobriety from thoughts. I'm not addicted to them anymore. I used to follow them because it gives me high, right? So it gave me an identity. But in this directness, there's just a flow. It's a beautiful flow. It's so peaceful.
Mm.
Mhm.
And
That's the
memory.
past. That's the future. Go ahead. Sorry.
What did you say?
I said that's just the future or the past. It's just the next thought or the past thought. Let's say it anyway.
I didn't understand.
I said what you were about to say is about the past or the future.
I wanted to say, so memories are not important, that we can just,
That's just the past. Yeah. Yeah. It's just happening directly. Yeah.
and there are no um, suppressed feelings or emotions
No,
from my past.
no, not really. No.
Not
Because it's in the directness, right? There's no more suppression. Everything is everything is almost like unfiltered, right? So for example, if I'm being blunt, I'm blunt, right? I'm going to call it out directly, right?
Mhm.
It's the same thing the way that I approach life, right? So I'm no longer a doormat or so I'm just very direct, right? So and there's authenticity. I don't really get mad as much anymore. I don't get angry because I'm not suppressing anything anymore or not hiding anything. I'll call it out, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, if somebody is, just somebody, I'll say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Um, that's not all right, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's more peace and quietness. So I don't really get triggered, you know what I'm saying, as much, right? So trigger still happens, but it's very direct. But there's no it in the past 5 years, maybe twice, you know what I'm saying? But I laugh about it right away. I'm like, oh, that's funny. Because it's seen that it's just, so there's still aliveness. It means that it doesn't mean that I'm just all of a sudden kind of like a zombie and just sitting under a tree forever, right? There's aliveness. I laugh a lot. I cry, right? I cry when I see the sunrise and the sunset because I'm looking at things without words, without thoughts, right? So I see the wholeness, the beauty of it without the influence of words. I'm more direct with people. When they're talking to me, I talk to them um, focused, right? Because I'm not thinking about what they're thinking or what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
There's just a directness to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like the best version of Emerson has come out when he was not caught up in thoughts anymore. When I
Mm-hmm.
was caught up in thoughts, then there was a lot of agendas, there was a lot of manipulation, there was a lot of suppression, there was a lot of um, what do you call that? Passive aggressiveness,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now that there's a directness, then there's just peace all the time.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And I don't have to do anything. It's not about doing or not doing, right? So what's between doing and not doing?
Nothing.
Yeah. So I'm either doing or not. It's not me doing or not doing. Because there's this idea in non-duality and spirituality that you're not the doer. Then you start believing that. Then you want to wait for the non-doing, right? So it
Yeah.
just becomes another self-preservation or ego preservation that I have nothing to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's just a flow, right? In between this and that, there's a flow. Not caught
Mm-hmm.
up in the ideas, not caught up in the beliefs, not caught up on their opinions or ideas. It's basically life in the absence of opposites.
When I'm afraid to not I will forget things, or I will not
You're trying to go to the future
my
again, see?
duties or at
No,
my work.
no, no. You're trying to go to the future again. Life is going to be the same. It's the same as this, right? It's exactly the same, but without the psychological suffering of looking for something that's not in the next. There's no next.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the mind is a deceiver. The ego deceives you to look in the mind for the next. When there's no mind, then there's no next. If you look at animals, do they have a next? No.
Mm-hmm.
They're present in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you look at babies, they don't know what the next is.
Yeah.
They laugh and they cry, you know what I'm saying? But there's peace there if you look in their eyes. And then we get thought that you're an I, me, and then that becomes our belief that I am a me.
You know what I recognize.
Mhm.
I feel a lot of uh, joy and love when I'm with children. I'm working with children,
Yeah,
but I don't feel a lot of uh, joy and love with adults, or
yeah,
much less. It's more seldom
yeah,
with people. Yes, when I
yeah.
meet them, it can be
Well, what do
really.
you without that belief? That's the past again, right? So the mind is trying to come up with the past again. What do you
Yeah, but
without that belief? What if you
I
see this? What if you see this freshly again without the influence of the mind?
I I I I think I'm so cold. Sometimes
That's just the
when
past again,
I
right?
don't have
No, no,
this.
no. That's just a belief. That's
Yeah,
just a belief. Yeah. What are you without that thought again, right? So, oh, you're frozen.
I'm frozen.
Okay, I'm going to, I think your internet is slow. Just a second, okay? Because you keep on, let me just close my camera for 1 minute so that you can catch up. Okay, so you said that you think that you're cold, and that's when you froze.
Ah,
The,
really?
the screen, yeah.
I can see my little picture
Yeah,
and
it's
I,
okay, it's okay. It's okay because the internet is slower, I guess, over there for some odd reason. So I'll just close it for about a minute and then, but I'm here. So you said that you think that you're cold,
yeah,
and I
sometimes
said,
I feel
that's just about the past. It's not here right now. It's just a
yeah,
belief. Because
yeah,
if you challenge a belief at this very second, there's no such thing as belief. So any statement that you say is just a belief, and it has no foundation. It's just a belief.
yeah, it's a memory now.
It's
It's
yeah,
in
yeah,
the past.
yeah.
Mhm.
Start anew, right? Begin again. See this again.
Yeah.
Where's that belief? Where's that coldness? I don't see it.
Um,
I see a passionate seeker. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see the cold. It's just your belief.
no, I don't see the coldness either. No.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Again, if you can't, if you see that the past is a fabrication, and then you see that the future is a fabrication, then you see the reality at this moment
Mhm.
rather than getting caught up in the lies in your head.
Um, yes. Yeah.
Really, the identity is just a collection of beliefs, right? One day you thought that I'm cold, then you believe that you're cold. It's not here. It's not true.
Yes.
Yeah. Then that
Yes.
creates this identity. You know what I'm saying? I'm cold. I'm this. No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fabricated and then we believe it.
Yeah, but the one that believes it is also a belief.
Yeah.
So it becomes a sense of identity. Then that becomes your reality, right? But if
Yeah.
you rip apart your reality, it's just really a belief system. If you rip apart that belief system, it's just a thought. Simple. If you take away the thought, then what is it? Then it's not here. Let me see if you're okay now. The internet is okay now, so I'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like every moment is a blank slate, right? It's empty, right? And then there's appearances of whatever seems to appear. If you don't get caught up with the appearances, then that blank slate is peace, God, awareness. Take away those words, right?
That's why in the Bible it's written we should not love the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
And
Yeah.
again, there's also this saying that to be able to enter the kingdom of God, you have to pass through the eye of the needle. So it
Yes.
means no ego, no belief, no identity, right?
Yeah.
Then you become the kingdom of God.
Yes.
Not you, but the kingdom of God, right?
Mhm.
Again,
You
if you
know,
take away,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I had the plan was when I get this finally, then I want to argue, to fight with the evangelicals. I
Well, you
had
can, or you
I had
can be,
so
or
many fights
you,
already, but now it
there's
doesn't make
nothing to fight because it's just throwing words at each other,
sense.
right? And then again, then you see that saying, you know what? Forgive them for they don't know what they do. That what they do. There's
Yes.
instant forgiveness.
And then
Yeah,
I don't have to be right or to have,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
that's,
turning the other cheek, right? Because you're not right. There's no one wrong. It's just, again, this is really humbling. This clarity is really humbling. It's like it's so beautiful, right? Because I don't, you know what? In non-duality, there's also a lot of debate circles and everything. I have no interest.
I heard it.
Yeah,
Yes.
no interest whatsoever. I'm at peace, right? So why would I, you know, um, I'm direct, I'm blunt with what I say, right? But I don't have to hold that position.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
I can humbly say that, you know what, these are just words, and words are wrong or right. So it's either wrong or right. But in between that, there's something that I cannot say that I'm trying to say.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's not in the words. It's not Emerson, right? Because Emerson is just a word.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about Emerson. There's nothing right or wrong about Emerson. There's nothing special about Stina. It's just a word, right? If we get caught up in words, then we're in a web of lies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a talk with David Bingham
Yeah.
for maybe 2 years ago. It was
Mm-hmm.
before my last Christian faith.
Yeah.
And maybe what how his thinking is out, because he talks about the demiurge and the koshas, and so he has like it's also like a concept.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now when I listen to you, I mean, you don't even need this. Yeah.
No, no. Because the mind wants to lash out to the samsaras and the koshas, especially if it's foreign. It wants to chew on it for quite a while. Oh,
Yes.
samadhi. Oh, samsaras. Wow, right? I
Yeah.
I was I was I was a Sanskrit. I studied Sanskrit for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I used to say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, like all the time. But it's just all words are also made up. That's because it's a foreign language that it becomes true.
Because they say the sound has
Yeah,
a
but again, that's just another belief.
really, but
Yeah.
music has also no. Does it have an effect on the brain and maybe on the
No, you know what? I'll break it down to you, right? So mantras. So man is from the Sanskrit mind. So when you say mankind, it's actually mindkind. So
kind?
mantras is supposed to stop the mind, to stop it in its tracks, right? So it's just a reinforcement of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So mantras are made of Sanskrit, right? Which is just words that are supposed to have this sound. But it's just made up by the mind again. It's for the mind again to reinforce itself over and over again. Because in the 10 years that I was doing mantras, right? I never got free for 10 years, right? So why keep on doing something that it's insanity?
I did only maybe for 1 month, so then I stopped.
Okay.
And the mudras, I
Oh
also
yeah, of course.
stopped. I'm not.
Yeah,
I was a meditator. I
yeah,
could not really. No, I
yeah.
could not. And I
Again,
felt.
there's nothing wrong or right about it, but it's just a dream.
Yeah.
It's just a part of the dream, right? If you enjoy it in a dream, why not? If you don't like it, why not too? Who
Yes.
cares? Yeah. It's just all made up stuff.
Yeah. No conditions, huh? There are
No,
no.
no.
Yeah.
This is just really going directly without, because if I introduce you another veil, then you'll get stuck in that veil again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just pulling all the veils out, right? It's so simple.
Mhm.
Because if I give you the know me, if I go to radical, then you have a veil of know me again.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I give you the veil of, samskaras and samsaras, all that, guys, just another veil. Right? All the veils are just made up of words. Even the word veil is just a word. So there's really no veil if you get all the words out.
Yeah.
Then there's this clarity like a baby. When
Yeah.
you die, you're gonna go here again anyway, right? When you lose your mind, when you take your last breath, or when you get dementia, then all of these thoughts, whatever you believe, whatever you come up with, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Because when you enter that kingdom, whatever, what I'm saying, it's just a story again. You have to
Mhm.
pass through the eye of a needle, meaning that there's no you that could pass through a needle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to be like a child to enter the kingdom.
There you
So
go. Yeah, here it is.
yeah.
And the mind doesn't like this because it means the mind is not, it's irrelevant. The ego is
Oh, it's
shrieking, right? The ego is like, no, don't
I
believe
always
him.
told the evangelicals, I said, yeah, but in the Bible it's written you have to be like a child, but you are debating, you are all this talk,
Yeah.
Bible reading, Bible studying, praying, and
Yeah. Does the
No.
child judge? Does the child, you know what I'm saying, look down at people? No.
Yeah.
The child is unconditional love, and that's what you are. You just forgotten that that's what you are already. Unconditional means no past or future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Past is a condition, future is a condition. So why do you keep on going with conditions of the mind?
Mm-hmm.
It's so simple and clear,
Mm-hmm.
obvious. Silly, right? So silly. I love that you kept on fighting though. It's good. It's okay.
What?
I love that the mind, the ego kept on fighting it, right? You're like, no. It's okay. It's just between what's between acceptance and rejection.
Again, nothing.
Yeah, because the mind can only do opposite, right? Accept or reject. So if it accepts it, then the mind goes, oh my goodness, I'm enlightened now. If it rejects it, it's like, oh, I have to find another, you know, another teacher or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is I still have the feeling that you have something more, something that
Well, you know what? It's just a belief.
yeah.
Because when you stop the Zoom, how do you even know that I really exist? You know what I'm saying?
Sure you exist.
Who's sure?
I'm sure because I can listen to videos. So again, there come new ones, and so I see that you
Okay.
continue.
Yeah. But that's just another belief. But I'm going to stop the recording here.